Welcome to Land Strategy Live. Today we are on part four
Yeah, I think so.
of Hermosi's Ultimate Sales Training, which is a video that I watched. It was like an hours, maybe like a couple of hours or something, and then I took down notes. Erica, you want to show the notes real quick? And we're going line by line, and we're discussing how to leverage these strategies in our land investing business on the sell side. Yes. So
Yeah.
far we covered sales multipliers, things you can do to multiply your sales. We covered. Did we cover opening
You
or
have a
before opening?
pre-sales,
Pre-sale. So we covered the pre-sale portion of the calls, and then we covered
opening,
opening, and now we are into the closer
closer
framework.
framework. And
So
we're on,
we briefly covered. So for closer framework, we already have like a 7-part series or 9-part series that we did in very detail. So this is just going over it very quickly, but the E and R, the objection handling, how to overcome objection handling, and reinforcing the decision. That's where we go really deep in this training. So yeah, so check out the older videos to catch up, but we are on S of closer today, right?
which is sell the
Sell the
vacation.
vacation, not the plane flight. Okay. So let me see. So what is it saying? We covered follow the script. We covered sell the vacation. So in sell the vacation, so before just a context, right? So we C is clarify why they're there, right? So we ask for their problems and goals, right? And then L is we label them with the problems they're facing and the goals that they have. O is we're overviewing of their past experiences, past failures, so we can increase the deprivation, so which thereby increases the motivation for the solution that we have for them. And once you do that, you move to the sell the vacation stage, which essentially you want to sell the benefits and not the benefits, but you want to sell the outcome rather than the vacation, rather than the flight on how you're gonna get there. Okay, so let's get into it. So you want to talk about Hawaii, not the plane flight. Talk about the experience of what it would be like when they have accomplished the thing, right? So for example, if you're selling if you're selling any piece of land, you will essentially say, well, once you're a landowner, you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to, you own, something that you can pass on. It's like a legacy thing, right? See, all those things you can talk about how they will feel as a landowner. They own a piece of America, right? And it's a big deal for a lot of immigrants as well, right? Owning something that they aspire to when before coming to the US.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a tangent, but did you see the latest testimonial from the past buyer who was talking about how his great grandparents were killed by communists in China, and now he's owning?
Latest
Yeah, you just sent an email.
is today.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. And so this land means so much to him because now his family's finally landowners again.
Is it video testimonial? Oh, I haven't seen it. It's news. Well, good
So
thing we do these live so
yeah.
you can keep me in the loop, Erica.
You were just mentioning, like, also for maybe immigrants, how there's a emotional component to buying land.
Yeah, I
So-
see. Yeah, we should do this more often, Erica, so you can bring me up to speed on what's going on in this.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So talk about the experience of what would it be like when they have accomplished the thing. Use the 3-pillar pitch. It shouldn't be longer than 2 minutes. So 3-pillar pitch is essentially 3 legs of a stool, 3 components that make your thing special, or that make your experience, your service, your solution special, and it has a competitive advantage. So for example, so we have this mentorship, right? Have you heard of it, Erica?
I don't know.
Builders.
I haven't heard of it.
HonestWealthBuilders.com.
What is it?
You don't know?
No.
Oh. We have a link, look at this link.
Yeah.
You see this
we have a
fancy new
fancy
link
new link.
that
Yeah.
we just added.
Yeah.
And we added some fancy ticker style as well.
Mm-hmm.
It like makes you feel like you're part of you're watching CNBC. And you're learning, right? I figured instead of showing random news articles that's just or random news or like tickers that just depress people, we do like value add. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so 3 pitches, right? So for example, 3 pillars of a pitch, 3-pillar pitch, which is the 3 legs of a stool. So for our mastermind, the 3 legs are accountability. Like you have all these courses, you have all these gurus, and the distinguishing factor of our mastermind is that we provide accountability. Like we have an accountability buddy that will be assigned to you. You're going to do regular check-ins. You're going to, work directly with us and we go through weekly goals. And we meet twice a week. So we do like intra-week check-ins and keeping you accountable, making sure you're moving towards the right steps. So accountability is 1. So 3 A's. A for accountability. Second A is for availability. So we have the Discord. You can message us anytime and then we respond almost in real time most of the time. And there are other people who are action takers who also respond. So it's like a ecosystem of, action takers, which help each other and share results so we can learn from each other faster. And the third A is what? Access to
action
takers community, right? So we part of a community. I kind of covered in the second one, but everyone is taking action. And if someone doesn't, they like fall off. So whoever is remaining is usually taking action. So yeah, so those are the 3 pillars. So when you're selling land, you have to do something similar. So 3 A's, 3 B's, 3 C's, whatever, doesn't matter, but it's easier to remember if you pick the same letter. So 3 A's in our land. So we do affordability. Do we do affordability, availability? And what's the third one? You remember? Or we'll have to look it up. Adaptability.
Adaptability, yeah.
Yeah, flexibility
flexibility is
in terms and
what we're trying to say, but
yeah. So availability, affordability, right? And adaptability. So the 3 A's. So yeah, you gotta come up with like 3 A's as what your business and how you distinguish yourself from your competitors. So that's what he's talking about, the 3-pillar pitch. It shouldn't be longer than 2 minutes. That's the thing. You don't want to just talk and talk and talk. It needs to be like less than 2 minutes. Most of the time is spent talking about the prospect, not the product. You want to hear them. You want to do active listening. You want to see what their goals are, what their problems are, right? And how your solution is going to help with the gap. That's why you keep the pitch short. When author looks at selling something in a new organization, he spends 90% of his time trying to understand the pains or the motivation for the product, as opposed to, like pitching.
right.
Once you understand the pains, you can sell them anything. If you know where someone is and you know where they want to go and you know the things they have struggled with, you just sell your product as the bridge between where they are at and where they want to go. Right? But you just have to understand their pain so well and their goals so well that you can come up with a story. You can tell them a story that and you can fit in whatever product. The actual product doesn't matter as long as it, obviously works. Hopefully it works. Otherwise, why are you selling? So as long as it works, you can fit it in any story as long as you know that product is will help them achieve their goals and dreams, and you just make sure in the overview section you go through the pain, so it increases the motivations, which increases the chances of a sale. All right. Next, but most companies try to train salespeople on the product, not the prospect. So that's the biggest mistake sales teams or sales organizations make. Make the statement first of what they need. Oh, Harpreet is here. So make the statement first of what they need and then give the metaphor. So this is the other thing. When you are doing the 3A pitch or the 3B pitch, 3C pitch, whatever your 3-pillar pitch is, you don't want to like keep on explaining on and on like I was doing. That's not the way to do it. You actually want to use a metaphor. So you can pretty much a metaphor that anyone can understand, so you can make the point across much faster, right? So for example, so this is like a classic example that he uses, right? How do you show someone that your service provides accountability, right? So he gives an example of like toothbrush, right? When you're younger, you don't want to brush your teeth, but your parents keep on reinforcing brush your teeth, and you begrudgingly do it, right? And then you do it and you do it. You don't feel good about it, but you still keep doing it because your parents won't get off your back, right? But now you're 40 years old, you're 35 years old. Do you brush your teeth every day, right? And everyone will be like, yeah, they do. Okay, so at the time, your parents were providing accountability. They were essentially your external motivation, right? And then at some point, after they did it for years and years, you internalized it and you no longer need the external motivation. So that's the same point, like, of this mentorship. We're going to provide you external motivation by like, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this. We'll keep reminding you over and over again. And at some point, maybe after a year, after 6 months, you will internalize it and you would not need an external motivation to do the things that you should be doing. Right? So that's what accountability is. Now, it's much easier for the prospect to understand if you're using a metaphor, because everyone can relate to it, because they understand the metaphor, it's already in their head, so they can link to it, and it's easier for them to understand. But if you like start explaining, oh, we provide accountability because we'll text you if you don't do this, and then we'll do, like, you're going into like details, and they'll be thinking, oh, I'll get these extra texts, I'll have people will be messaging me, and they're like thinking about something else now. So you want to move the point across by using a metaphor, so that you can keep it short. Most importantly, you can keep it short, and also they understand it better. Yeah. So he explains. So if you only have 2 legs to the stool will fall over, right? It's the same thing, like the 3 pillars or 3 legs of a stool. So he's explaining, if you have 2 legs to a stool, the stool will fall over. Maybe you can balance it for a little bit. Maybe you do nutrition and accountability for Weight Watchers for a little bit. You lost 50 pounds, but then you gain it all back. So you had the stool up for a little while, but it fell over. But if you had all 3 legs to the stool, and you can show it with your hand, this is what you need in order to be successful. So he's talking about his fitness client. So you need 3 things to be fit. You need accountability, you need nutrition, and you need training, weight training, right? Or fitness, right? So there are 3 components. If any of those 3 components is missing, then it's very hard to be successful, staying in shape and being healthy and being muscular. So that's the example here. So you use the similar logic to explain why they should buy from you, why they should buy land from you. You use metaphors because it compares something that they did not understand with something they do understand, and you make the parallels, right? They clearly understand the brushing of teeth, right? Because everyone brushes teeth, right? I'm guessing there's some people who don't, but But yeah, so it was easy for them to understand. All right. A metaphor helps them understand, and this is what teaching is. So he's giving an example that, sales is all about education. So you're just like educating your clients. All right. Analogies for accountability. So it goes into the, did you hate brushing your teeth? Now you're an adult. Do you brush your teeth now? Your parents were your coach. They kept reminding you. Then over time, the positive reinforcement of doing the behavior became internal motivation. So we're going to artificially become the external motivation you need in the beginning to create that habit so you do this long term. See, I remembered pretty much everything.
Yeah.
You know why? Because it's a metaphor. Right? Easy to understand, easy to memorize. Okay. So we're not saying we're going to reach out to you for this many days. You're not telling them which channels are you going to use, what the response time will be. You just explaining them what the conceptual part of what your service does. In the Amazing Race, so this is a second example. So you can pick and choose which one you want to use if you're using accountability as one of your pillars. It'll be hard to use accountability if you're selling on cash. It won't make sense.
Right.
If you're selling on terms, maybe you can use it. We'll keep you accountable. Make sure you pay.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pay, we'll come to your house.
I'm not sure.
Knock on your door.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Accountability will work.
Yeah.
If you don't pay, we will come to your house. We'll knock on your door and remind you personally to make your payment. No,
Yeah, I'm
that
not
won't
sure
work.
that's selling it.
No, that won't work. We're keeping them accountable, Erica. No? All right. Maybe we'll leave it to Harpreet. Then.
Yeah.
Harpreet will be accountable. We'll fly to their house. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Harpreet has to come up with a good accountability.
No, I don't think accountability should be one of,
No.
not in order financing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is another example of accountability. So they had to change the rule because there was a couple that won too many times. And the reason for that is, this is for the Amazing Race. There was a couple that kept on winning over and over again, and they had to change the rules because they found a loophole. So the loophole was essentially whenever they get dropped into like middle of nowhere, like Vietnam or Pakistan or whatever, the first thing they'll do is they will instead of like trying to figure out everything themselves, they will ask around locals, anyone, and they're like, we'll pay you for a day if you just come with us. So they'll pick a local person, put them in the back seat of the car, and they'll be like, all right, tell me, how do I get to this place? So they'll be like, oh yeah, there's construction going on, go around here, take this road, take this highway, get there. So they will like basically have the local person guide them, and they don't have to do anything, right? And they kept on winning the Amazing Race. And then they had to change the rules. So the producers, directors, they were like, well, you can no longer have a local guide, right? So the point of the story is, that local guide, that's going to be us. We are your local guides. We are going to be sitting in the back of your car, guiding you, avoid this pothole, avoid this highway, go there, go here, right? So you can move much faster than you would if you were doing it yourself. Okay. So what is Harpreet saying? Reminders for payment due in a week, if they opt in, can be an accountability check like banks do. That, by the way, that GeekPay does automatically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you don't have to do anything. Okay. Or if they're late, they send it, right? Or do they proactively send? Erica, do you know?
I don't think, at least we don't get, but maybe they don't copy us. I don't think they give reminders before the due date.
But they do
we
if
can
they're
check
late.
that.
But they do if they're late.
Yeah. Seems like
That we
something
know
they
for
should
sure.
do. So maybe we can make it a note to check that.
No, it doesn't matter, right? Because even if they don't do, you cannot change their features.
Yeah.
I think if they start doing it, then the people will like, well, this is a spam. How do I unsubscribe? All right. I think my idea of like flying to their houses and knocking on their doors is better. I think it's definitely more effective. You can roll your eyes all you want, Erica.
All right. You can do that.
I think it'll be a good reasoning, good excuse to
Travel.
take a All right, this person is in Michigan. He owns land in Florida. So we're going to fly to Michigan. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So know your 3 pillars and analogies that make them relevant. If you start getting into the weeds, then you're not selling the vacation and the conversion rate drops. So that's the thing. That's the reason why you don't want to go into the details. Because if you start going into the details, then you're not really selling the vacation. Now you're talking about the details, and then it just goes into an unknown territory, right? So you want to keep the script in known territory, because we genuinely believe that it's going to help them, and we want them to just focus on the vision so we can convince them to take the action. Yeah. That is what we said if they want to opt in while onboarding them. Yeah. I mean, we can see if GeekPay has it. If not, you can set up like an automated thing on like MailChimp or something as well. In onboarding, we can say, well, this is a feature available. Would you like to opt in? Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
Actually, maybe we should make that in the notes. If they're not, because that is a good point. If GeekPay is not sending reminder emails right before the withdrawal, that might be why there's a high failure rate. Because people aren't preparing.
How will they prepare? It's an auto debit.
I know, but a surprising number of people don't keep enough in their bank account on a regular basis to make that auto debit.
They just don't have enough. Yeah. It's not like
it's usually they fail and then they realize it failed. They get the email and then they put it in.
Because they're so close to zero at all times, right? Because they don't have any savings.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is sad. Okay. If you start getting into weeds, then you're not selling the vacation and the conversion rate drops. If you ever get ghosted at any part of the sales cycle, just send them a Kevin Hart meme. Where you at? You want to show people what we're talking about? We tried this. It works sometimes. Yeah, you can click on it. It's a GIF. Yeah, this one. So we tried it. Like people ghost, we send them. A couple of people have responded.
Yeah, sometimes it works.
Sometimes it works. It's better than sending.
It's better than any other alternative.
No.
I mean, some people, if they're ghosting you, they're just going to ghost you no matter what you do, right?
Yeah. It has the highest response rate. Meme has made a lot of salespeople, a lot of money. You end your pitch with ready to move forward. If they say no, move on to the next section. Okay, so now we're going into the meat. The heavy meat, which is pretty much the rest of the notes. So we are...
Oh, the rest of it is?
Yeah.
Really?
Everything is like about objection ending. Because there's so many... Dude, don't show them already. There's so many objections that could come up, Erica. It's just so detailed. You will see how detailed it is. That's what I'm saying. It's gonna blow your mind because it's just so detailed. Okay, all right, let's get into it. Explain away their concerns. So this is objection handling, the meat. Because they could say like 50 things. Oh, I have to check my wife. Oh, I don't have the money. Oh, I don't have the time to check the land. Oh, I don't trust you. Oh, how do I know you're real? Oh, how can I get back to you? Oh, can I think about it? Right? Mm-hmm. Like there's so many, unlimited variations. So he tries to cover as many as possible. Okay. All right. So the first thing is always train sales team back to front, which means everyone in the sales team should know how to process a sale first. If they don't know how to do that, they have a 0% chance of closing. Actually, I have a personal story which is very embarrassing.
Okay.
I think I should say it as part of being authentic. So when I came to the US, my first job was as a salesperson.
How'd you get that?
So I came to the US for my education, right? So I was, there are like laws against foreign students. You cannot work for a certain period of time. So, and then in the meantime, I was like, all right, can I just get like unpaid experience, right? And then I can be like, instead of paying me money, they can pay me in like buy me a laptop or something, right? So it's not getting paid, but I'm still getting paid, sort of, right? So I asked one of my relatives, can he get me a job? He said, well, I'll ask around. And then he relatives friend had a Verizon store in Manhattan. I never told you this, by the
No,
way.
I don't think you told me this
Yeah.
story.
Just like we discussed business stuff on this live.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is more like date night. So my relative's friend acquaintance was like, well, I have a Verizon store. It's on like 54th and Park, or Lexington is like a posh area. It's a lot of like residents around. So Verizon store, and just like selling stuff, right? So he's like, all right, so I'm gonna train you for 2 weeks, and then hopefully you will learn. So the first thing is like, I mean, he's also terrible sales. Like, he's a terrible teacher, right? Like he doesn't have any experience, right? He's just like a sole operator, and he basically, whenever he's on vacation or he needs help, he'll hire temporary help. But he's not like any like sales guru or anything. He's just
He has to have staff if he's running a store.
he's just like one extra person, like
Okay.
part time. But his whole thing was like, I'm just gonna stay in the Verizon store, sell. Literally, if he's going for lunch, he's gonna close down the store and go for lunch and just say, "Be back in 30 minutes." You don't need staff for that.
Yeah.
Haven't you seen in Manhattan, you like the small stores and they say,
Yeah.
be back
Yeah.
in 1 hour, be back in 30 minutes. So you don't need, right? So his plan was like, well, I'm tired of doing everything myself. It'll be nice to have help, right? So in the training, so he's teaching me, all right, so this is where I keep all the cell phones there. This is where I keep the covers. This is where I keep the accessories. This is how you process, if they want to change their billing address or whatever. Like, so I knew where everything was, but he never taught me how to actually like close, like how to process the sale, because it's like, I'm still part of the training, right? This is like literally my 3rd day, right? So he's like, all right, I'm gonna be back in like 10 minutes. Let me get lunch. I'll be back in like 10-15 minutes. So you just hold the store. If anyone comes in, you just help them, and then I'll be back. So I say, yeah, that's fine. So he goes to lunch, and then a customer comes in, and he says, do you have an adapter for BlackBerry? This is the time when BlackBerry was a thing. And I was like, yeah, I think I know where it is. Oh, here it is. And it says $15. So, all right, here, $15. I said, wait, I
Don't know how to use a cash register.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to use the cash register. So he gave me a 20. I said, I don't know how to give you 5 back. And the guy's like, I have to go back to work. So it's and then it's like he's just like very awkward then, and it's like so what should I do? So then I was like, I don't know what to do. So it's like okay, how about I'll just come back later on my way back from work. I said, all right, sorry about that, right? And then the boss comes back, and I was like, how do I process a sale? Why didn't you teach me that? I said, well, yeah, you're gonna learn it. It's like, no, there was a guy who wanted an adapter, and I didn't know how to process the sale. So it's like, dude, bro, come on, man. You go here, you press this, and it opens the register. It's like, dude, I've been in the US for like 7 days. I don't know how to process a register. Like, how would I know? We don't have registers in India. We just keep it in a drawer. We open the drawer. We don't have fancy cash registers that make like typewriter noises and a receipt comes out. It's too fancy for me. And the guy's like, I thought you were like computer science. Like, I was like, dude, this is not computer science. So anyways, yeah. So this reminds me of that you gotta first, when you hire a salesperson, you gotta teach them how to process a sales first before trying to teach them, right?
That's. I'm gonna always remember that rule now.
You're gonna remember that?
Yeah.
You see, that's why metaphors and stories help you remember stuff, right? Even if it's at the expense of my lack of basic knowledge. And if you want to go even more embarrassing, I didn't know how to. So this is also in the first week. So all the embarrassing experiences happen in the first week, first month, I would say, not first week. So he says, "Oh, I need to mail this check." I think I told you this.
You told me
I
this
told
one.
you this one. He said, "Oh, so yeah, we have to pay this check. Can you go around the corner? There's a mailbox. Just drop this mail." So I like, all right, that's fine. So how does the mailbox look like? I was like, dude, it's just a blue thing, man. You'll see it. You'll figure it out. Go. It's like, we don't have mailboxes in India. You just go to like a, mailing center. You don't have mailboxes on streets. So it's like, dude, whatever, man. Like fresh off the boat, right?
Yeah.
So he's like, you'll figure it out, man. Go. So he gives me a letter. I was like, oh, I see the blue thing. And I was like, wait a second, how do I put it in? Is there a button? Like, how do I open this thing? It's very confusing. It's like, dude, there's a handle, you have to open it. It's like, if you have never seen it, you wouldn't know how to open that thing. So I was like, dude, I have no idea. I was like, how do I open it? I was like, I flagged an old lady. And I was like, dude, can you show me how to open? And she was like, is that a prank? Is this a prank? What is this? You just take this handle and you just pull it. She was like giving me weird looks. It's like, who is this? Yeah, so yeah, embarrassing stuff when you first come to the US. Things you will never experience, Erica. Unless you live I'm sure you had experiences like that when you lived in Nicaragua. Did you not know some of the basic stuff? Although it's different because you're going from a developed country to a non-developed country.
Yeah, there weren't like devices I didn't know how to use. It was more cultural differences.
It was more cultural.
Yeah.
Did you have any cultural faux pas?
I mean, I can't think of a funny story, but the biggest thing was being like kind of quiet, introverted.
What does that have to do with the faux pas?
And
I'm sure there are
just thought I
quiet people in Nicaragua.
There are, but culturally, that's not the norm. So that everyone thought I was rude, essentially.
Because you were quiet? That doesn't make any.
I know.
I don't think you understand what a faux pas is, Erica. Okay. My faux pas are much more entertaining. Okay. So yeah, so you want to start with the close. You want to teach people how to close, and then you can teach them all the fancy stuff. So if they don't know how to do that, they have a zero chance of closing. Just like I had a zero chance of closing. Closing begins when someone says no. Just because they say no doesn't mean they're saying no forever. You have to expect no. If someone said yes, you don't need a salesperson. You can just record a video and put a buy button under it. This is like a very solid line,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
It's worth diving deep into, right? So if you are like the reason you need a salesperson is because people have objections, right? Like if people did not have objections, you will just list your land on your website and everyone will go there and hit buy now and everything will be automatically generated and then you'll be done. You right? Everyone will be doing this. Right?
Right.
Everyone will be doing this. The reason there are some land companies that are more successful than others is because they know how to close. They know how to do objection handling. They know how to make a case for people who are on the fence, right? Because clearly they will have questions, right? Now there is a way. If you do a banger job in marketing where you pretty much answer all the questions, like Tesla, right? They don't have a sales team. Tesla, you just know, oh, it's such a good product. You just go online and check out, right? You don't go to a showroom and they have to like, oh no, I'm gonna pay 40K. No, you pay 42K, and you're not haggling. You just do online checkout. There is no haggling, right? Because they do such a good job marketing, and then they have these influencers creating YouTube videos, right? And that's one of the reasons why we do the live streams, right? Because it's essentially sales.
I think there's maybe another layer there as well. It's not
So-
just that they do such a good job explaining, because
No. Okay, hold on. So you're cutting what I was about to say.
Okay.
So sales, you have to remember, sales is education, right? You are providing education on your products and on your services. So Tesla does such a good job in quote unquote education, which is an umbrella term under marketing, right? So think about it. So Elon Musk going on podcasts and talking about, oh, I have this feature, I have that feature, and he's just like so passionate, right? Like I have this 0 to 16, 0.2 seconds or whatever, and then you have these different modes in the car, and then he's convinces Joe Rogan to buy Tesla live on the podcast, right? Stuff like this. He's just like so passionate. Like they come up with these videos. They have these influencer covering all these cars, which do like 3-hour video on Cybertruck. Like it's just so much education, right? Like that's how I learned when we were buying Tesla. I was like, oh, let me watch videos, and then I ended up watching like 20 videos on the model that I was buying, right? And I was like, I don't need a salesperson. I can just do the online checkout, right? So that's at least what I'm trying to achieve, not at that scale, but at least with the live streams and shorts and long videos, right? Basically provide so much information that people are like, oh yeah, I know Erica. Yeah, of course I know Erica. I see her lives every day. Right? And we have people who just check out on the
yeah, we do.
it's not that often, but it happens, right? And it's not going to happen if you're like a brand new person, brand new website, and people are not going to be checking out on your website, because sales is education. You have done absolutely jack, right? Zero to educate them. That's one of the things I talk about in the mastermind. Like, well, we gotta do live streams, right? And the reason you do that is because you're educating, and when the prospects get educated, they don't need as much sales. They don't need objection handling, because you preemptively handled all their objections, right? What's the down payment? Can I live on it? Can I, camp on it? Can I fence on it? Like there's like 400 things, and you already answered in your video, right? You do like a 40-minute video where you cover pretty much everything. So Erica, you should, when you do the lives, think of it like an educational process. Remember last time you were doing like 25-minute lives, and then last one of the lives you did was 9 minutes. And I was like, there's a prospect that's only going to watch that video, and you didn't cover everything because you got bored because, oh, I covered this in every video.
It wasn't that I got
or
bored.
or like ChatGPT said, optimize this and that. But there are lives, they're not.
Actually, that's a good learning moment because it wasn't that I got bored, which is a problem when you're doing something over and over again. But the main problem here was I was trying to get feedback on the lives from ChatGPT, and I wasn't giving it the right context, right? It thought I was trying to optimize for retention on a YouTube video. So it pretty much told me to cut out everything and keep it like as short and concise as possible. And I wasn't clear that this isn't actually a YouTube video. I mean, it is, but the main goal is to put it
It's getting embedded
on our listing
your
sites.
On your
So
listing sites, yeah.
I'm trying to be comprehensive.
Right, you need to be comprehensive because most people will only watch one video because they're interested in that property. They don't care about your review show. They don't care about every other property video you have done or the shorts you're doing. They just care about one property. And most people, now there's some others who will watch multiple videos. So if you don't do a comprehensive job in the video, talking about your bonuses, talking about your closing process, talking about, what the 3 A's and what are the features or competitive edges we have, and like how many people we have helped, right? All those things. If you don't talk about it, then you essentially lost a sale. You lost an opportunity to educate a potential prospect.
I think there are a couple other like just practical learnings from that. And one, when you're doing lots of content, you have to be really disciplined in understanding what the purpose of each content type is, right? Like on the land review live, it's a very different kind of content than the property videos. And I would guess that a lot of people who like the land review lives would find the property videos kind of boring and repetitive if they're joining each one every day, because I do repeat a lot of stuff. But that's what you have to do. Those are targeted to a different audience. And then the other thing is like when you're using AI, you got to be really, really careful about your prompts if you're going to be.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of retention.
I'm boring.
No, the point is made. Okay. So closing begins when someone says no. So you have to expect no. If everyone said yes, we don't need a salesperson. You'll just have everyone will just check out online. You can only pull that off if you have God level marketing like Tesla. When they say no, when people say no, the closers step up. The sales closer steps up. Okay, if someone says yes, I'm in, just shut up and close the sale. Do not try to like oversell and right. Someone says, all right, ready to move forward. You're like, all right, what payment method are you going to use? Don't try to, but we have this, we have that. Just move on. Because then you might say something stupid accidentally, and then they go into the details and they're like, oh, I'm not sure anymore. You don't want that. Do not unsell. If someone says anything you aren't prepared for, that means you are underprepared. So prep equal to smooth. So essentially, you should have done so many sales calls that every time a new objection comes in, you work with ChatGPT, you think about it, and then you come up with the objection handling solution. It should never happen if you're on the sales call, and if you say you have done 100 sales calls, on a 101st sales call, it should not happen. It should never happen where the prospect has an objection handling that you haven't heard in the previous 100 calls, right? If you have, and you did not prepare for that answer, clearly you're underprepared, because every call you review it and make sure all the objections were handled properly. If there was not something not handled properly, you prepare, so you're prepared for the next call, right? So over time you will have a list, right? So Harpreet was like, oh, can you give me your closer framework document? And we gave it to him. I was like, dude, this is like detailed, like very comprehensive. I was like, yeah, because we keep on updating it. Every time a new objection comes in, we add it. We keep on adding to it. So yeah, so if you ask for that document again in 3 months, it's gonna be even more detailed, right? Because you don't want to be surprised on a sales call. That's because you want to be smooth, right? Okay. So you should in one breath know exactly what you're going to say back to the person when they have any kind of objection, right? So by the way, there's a specific way you handle it. So you do 3 A's: acknowledge, associate, and ask for sale. So it's a separate video which has much more deep dive, which we'll cover later. But we'll touch on acknowledge, associate, ask later in this training as well. So if you're doing the same call over and over, and the fact that prospect can say anything that surprises you just means you're underprepared. When you're prepped, we expect and plan for no. No is not a failure. It's to be expected. Yeah? Mm-hmm. All right. Should we cover? This seems like a start of a new section.
Yeah.
Should we stop here?
Yeah, we can stop here.
We go into the all-purpose closes next.
Okay.
Okay, I guess this is a good stopping point, so we can stop here. All right, Erica. Harpreet, what do you think of the we added the ticker tape? I think it has some helpful tips. So let me know what you think. All right, Erica, let's do the end screen CTA.
Yep.
So you want to talk?
Yep. So again, we do have a mastermind. All of these concepts are very dense. So if you do want some help with accountability and have
you
a
can
group,
just do this.
and you want a group setting too, where not only do we hold ourselves accountable, but we learn from each other as we all implement the same concept, then you can join our mastermind. It's honestwealthbuilders.com. Group of action takers, and it's open to people at every level. So whether you're just starting out or you've been in the business for a little bit, there's room for everyone and room to learn.
Yeah. Check it out, honestwealthbuilders.com. So we'll meet again tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining.